Welcome back to the YouTube advertising series. I'm your host, Ryan Noel, the video advertising expert. Last week we discussed the 3 major campaign settings everybody should be using: demographics, device bid adjustment, and my personal favorite, impression capping. Click here to watch that episode at any time. Today, we're going over 2 advanced techniques to reach your target audience: combined targeting and negative targeting. Now, these are advanced techniques, so if you have questions, that's perfectly normal. Just leave them in the comment section below and I'll be sure to get back with you. If you're having trouble finding anything that we discuss or you're starting your first campaign, click here to watch the Getting Started video, which will walk you through the AdWords for Video system. Let's start by discussing combined targeting. This is when you take 2 of the major types of targeting groups that we talked about in episode 2 and combine them together to reach a very narrow target audience. If you come from a technical background, you know and or statements. Well, the AdWords for Video system actually only sees and statements, so it's topics and interests rather than topics or interests. Since what we're going over is super technical, we're going to give you examples throughout the entire episode. Now, if you own any of these businesses, here's a few freebies. One example would be a high-end car repair store. Target the interest auto repair and then go after topics or keywords like Ferrari, Lamborghini, or Rolls-Royce. Another example would be an Apple repair store. Use the topics computer hardware and go after keywords like Apple, Mac, and MacBook. That way you don't have any of those PC nerds showing up at your door. Now, if you really wanted to hone in on your target audience, you could add in other specifics, maybe like the campaign settings that we talked about last episode. Just an idea. One example of this would be like a grill company. You could go after interests like family focused or outdoor enthusiasts, placements like ESPN.com or some of the sports channels that live on YouTube. Run it during the summer or just before summer and target males only, not the unknowns. So you're gonna hit dudes during the peak of sports season on sports channels, and those dudes have an interest in either their families or being outdoors. That's pretty much the ideal audience for a grill. So combined targeting still allows for everything to be really broad because you're using those categories. So you still have a huge audience to go after, but it allows for more control and narrows down your target group so you hit the specific audience that you want. Next up is negative targeting. This allows you to narrow down your target audience by limiting it. We do this by removing any non-related topics or keywords. One example of this would be a law firm. You could go after topics like legal services. There's a ton in the AdWords system, so just pick the ones that apply. Then you could use a negative topic like jobs and education. So you're not going to hit people that are actually looking for a job or trying to continue their education, but rather people that are looking up content about legal aid. Another example of this would be like a home repair service. So you can go after topics like home improvement because that's the type of stuff they're watching, but use a negative interest of a DIYer. That way that person's actually going to pay for your services rather than just try to do it themselves. To wrap up negative targeting, we use this for narrowing down a specific audience by leaving out users who are not qualified. The important thing to remember here is don't complicate it. If you can target that specific audience without using negative targeting, do it. Also, don't limit your campaign so far that there's absolutely no target audience or such a small target audience that you don't get any results. There's a couple things you should remember about these advanced techniques. First, they're advanced, so be careful. If you're not an expert and you don't know what you're doing, you could really screw up your campaign. But they are great for reaching a small market or a specific campaign audience. Also, let your campaign run for a little bit of time before you just shut it down and give up on it. Watch it closely. If nothing is moving, open up the campaign by removing some of those advanced techniques that you put in. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. If you want to watch the full series on YouTube advertising, click here. If you want to learn more about media distribution solutions or just get help with your ad campaign, click here. I'm Ryan Noel, the video advertising expert, and I hope to see you next week as we dive more in depth into the YouTube advertising system. We're gonna go over some metrics. It's gonna be great. just chop the keywords off. Cha. I'm Noel. Thanks for watching.